discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Yesterday was not good. Not a good day. This happens to me from time to time. Getting old sucks. I mean, we can all agree on that. And the new thing that manifests from time to time is when I haven't fueled my body appropriately with the right food. Now, honestly, I haven't really taken great care of my body in terms of the food I eat for quite some time. But if I were to do that, what happened yesterday would not have happened. Side note, tangent number one, I ran into my Armenian brother. He's like the antithesis of me. He's in shape. He takes care of himself. Dan Omedian. And I see Omedian at the gym. And he's the guy who at the Grand Rapids Half Marathon, he actually works for the marathon, where he holds a sign that says 8:30 pace. He's a pacer. And he, no big deal, just starts the race. And he keeps it steady Eddie, 8:30 a mile. And he runs holding this little sign, which to me seems ridiculous. It would be annoying to carry a sign while you're running. But, every mile you're hitting 8:30, and all you got to do is stay with him, and you'll get that race done in 8:30 a mile. That's awesome. It's, race has pacers. He goes, I think I'm either going to do the 8:30 group or the 9-minute a mile group. I go, that's my group. He goes, I remember you last year. And for the first 6 miles, I hung with him and then just crashed and burned. It was terrible. I've done that same race and hung with the 7-minute a mile group. What an asshole I am. Again, it sucks getting old. But that's an excuse. I should still be able to run 7 minutes a mile. That is not unheard of for a 52-year-old man to bury a half marathon sub an hour 30. It's only a state of mind, and only a lazy shithead like me would, I don't know. Takes a lot of work. But so I see Omedian, and he's like, I go, I'm working. And Aram says, what pacer would you be, Eric? If I was a pacer, well, I mean, how fast can a bike go? What's walking pace? 2 miles an hour? Could I do that? Hey, stay with me. You'll get this race done in a day. All right. Megan says, I ran my half marathon at 12:30 a mile. So what? It's about it's the mileage. You're getting a half marathon done. Steady Eddie wins a race. So he goes to me, he goes, so have you been running consistently? I said, yes, I have done that. I have been running consistently. And before I said that, I go, I've lost weight. I'm down 15, 16 pounds. I'm knocking on the door of 170. And he says, is that diet, exercise, or diet and exercise? I said, exercise. No diet. I'm just grinding. I'm just increasing the calories burned. I'm not, oh my God. It's not bad. I don't think I've eaten anything normal in months. Just ridiculous. Nothing. It's just shove it in my mouth. Jam it in there. I love it. Hang on. Coffee. One more, and then I'm good for 2 hours. Before I get ahead of myself in this story, send me an email for Dear Meathead if you have a question for Dad. There's a good one from Aram that I can't wait to read, but if you have a question for Dad on Dear Meathead, I will need those. Eric at ericzaneshow.com on the Shoreliners Striping inbox. So, Omedian. I'm like, yeah, man, it has nothing to do with diet. And then I said to him, we're talking about losing weight and running. Remember on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, Ben said recently, and he goes, I said I want to lose like 5, 6, 7 more, before the race. And he goes, I can't imagine that would make a big difference. And I was talking with Dan about that. He goes, oh, yeah? Okay. You add that to the 15 you've already lost. Imagine strapping a 20-pound sandbag around your waist and running. How hard that is. That's what you were doing, but now you've just lost it gradually. So, no, it makes a hell of a difference. Every pound matters. Every ounce matters. Come on. So, occasionally, though, this will manifest where I really, really eat poorly during the day. I mean, every day is shit. But in particular, yesterday, like early in the day, I had like a sandwich. And then hours pass. And then it's getting to be like 5, 6 p.m. And I'm like, well, let's go running. And the plan is drive to the YMCA, run outside, run away from the YMCA, 3.5 miles out into Granville, Michigan, turn around, run back. That's about an hour and 10 minutes of running for me at that pace. I usually keep it between 9 and 10, closer to 10. And then go lift a little weight action and then go home. All right. And so the good news is Diana is there. All right. And she's working in the kids zone. She helps out from time to time at the YMCA. And thank God, because this was a drag. I take off, and about 3 miles into 3.5 minutes out, 3 miles into 3.5 miles out, I start to feel terrible. Like I have no energy. And I'm starving. I'm hungry as hell. And my legs don't want to move. And my brain is fading. And I have ascertained over time that when I am out of whatever it is, glucose, glycogen, I don't know, something to do with sugar, I just tank and I can't move. And so here I am 3.5 miles from the Y. I got my phone with me. I'm listening to music. And then I'm like, I'm exhausted. I can't do this. I'm not going to be able to do this. This is going to mess me up bad. And so I've had this happen before. I recognize that shit. And so then I call Diana and I go, actually, I text her, go, hey, can you come get me? I'm stranded. And I haven't been stranded in forever, but it does happen. Josh says you got to pack an emergency goo on these runs, you knucklehead. Oh, I know. I know all this, man. But do I do that? No. Goo is that stuff in a little tinfoil container, little package, and it's loaded with sugar. And when you're running on if you are in a spot where, hey, I'm running out of energy, you eat one of these, it's like jizz. It's terrible. I mean, I don't know what jizz tastes like, but I mean, I would guess that it tastes better than what goo is. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. So, I didn't have a goo, and I'm just dying. So I call her up, and she goes, yeah, I'm on my way. I go, thank God. So minutes later, she shows up, and she goes, where are you? I go, I just click the Find My app, because we all are on the same app where anybody can see where I am at any one point in time. Anyone in my family knows my whereabouts, and I know theirs, with the exception of Jim. Okay? Even Justin. Justin even gave us his whereabouts. So I know where he is at all times. So she just hits the button, follows the blue line, picks me up, More on the Find My app in a second. A thought just popped into my head. I see the car coming down the road. She pulls over, and she immediately gets out of her car as I'm walking up to it, and she's digging around in her backpack that she takes into the school. And it was. I felt loved. I'm not gonna lie to you. I felt really loved because she knew that I wasn't doing that well, and she has in her backpack a candy bar and some animal crackers, like the frosted kind, and she goes, "Come on, get in. I got these for you." And I'm like, "Oh, my God, it's so great to be loved. This is so awesome. I'm so glad I married you. This is fantastic." So then I just sit down in the passenger side. She takes me back to the YMCA. I eat all the animal crackers, eat the candy bars. Like, "Oh, my God, you saved my life. Thank you." And she didn't. I mean, it was fine. Seriously, though, it could have been bad. It could have been bad if she wasn't there. But, yeah, lesson learned again. Now, it comes up that, I've been saying for weeks that, there is no chance that I am going to beat Mike Ball. And, by the way, I did make contact with the folks at the AT Children's Project. So you will very soon be able to make a bet as to who is going to win this race. The Grand Rapids Half Marathon, 13.1 miles on October 16th, which happens to be the second anniversary of my dearly departed mother's passing. So before I did that run, I had a text conversation with my pal Mike Ball. Turns out I ran into his nephew, who's like a high school kid, and he very nicely, young people don't do this these days. They don't walk up to old people and introduce themselves. This kid did. And he goes, "Hello, I am Mike Ball's nephew." And I go, "Oh my God." It was so refreshing. Young kids, all they do nowadays is look at the ground or look at their phone or mope and complain and play video games. And then if you say, "Hey, clean your room," they throw themselves out of the window. Not this kid. He was a great kid. And he was working, too. I think he's like going to be like a sophomore or something like that. And he's got his little Debbie tag to identify himself, and he's going to go in and like stock the stores, some shit. Oh, my God, this fucking kid is working after school. Holy shit. It's awesome. So Mike's in my brain, and I text him, and I said, "Hey, man, I just met your 8-foot-tall nephew." And so anyway, before I get to that, as I've been talking about, you either bet Mike Ball or me as to who's going to win that race. Mike slaughtered me last year. He was like bored waiting around for me to finish the damn thing. It was so terrible. And now I've talked with you for weeks about how I'm doing in the training. And I think right now I'm pretty sure I can be sub 2 hours on this deal. But, I was like 2:25 last year. It was terrible. I mean, little old ladies were beating my ass in this race. It was so bad. But, this year I'm a little better, but there's no way in hell, I've told you, that I'm going to be able to beat Mike Ball, who should come in sub an hour 40 if I base it on last year's performance. Okay, so that's still a 20-minute ass kicking. And I've given you all of this information so that you can kind of focus your bet so you know what to do. And then we'll see what happens when the race is done. If you pick Mike to beat me and by a certain amount of time, let's say you say 20 minutes, and the real time actually is closest to that, you win $300. Second closest, $200. Third closest, $100. So for a total purse of $600. Mike Ball months ago said, "Oh, I'm so sure that I'm going to win. I'm doubling the purse." And I go, "What?" And he says, "No, I'm not doing that. Eric, I'm not doing that." And Mike says, "No, I'm definitely doing that. If you beat me, Eric, and the same scenario plays, top finisher is getting $600. Second, $400. Third, $200. I'm like, oh, all right. So I reach out to Mike yesterday. Hey, I just ran into your 8-foot-tall nephew at Meijer. Mike writes back, ha ha, all 108 pounds of him. Then he wrote this. Did he tell you how broken I am? No, he didn't say that. It's polite. Vegas odds makers are putting their money on you for the 13.1 currently. And I was like, what? He says, I've run 5 miles in the last 10 days. Now, I've put in about 80 miles I'm not kidding you. I've put in about 80 miles in the past 10 days. I'm running fucking every day. Yesterday wasn't so great, but I still ran. I still got half the workout in. Mike is struggling, I guess. And I said, this does not matter. You will win. I just left it at that. By the way, does your nephew run? He looks like he could be very fast if he put in some work. And then I asked, do you have an injured leg or something? Mike says he used to run. Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think it was his thing. And then he adds, I've been having issues with my right side for years now. Nothing major, but my glutes weren't firing correctly. All of a sudden, this summer, after a Saturday morning run at Strider's, I couldn't walk. And it's been a limping battle since. Knee will throb, hard to drive a vehicle at times, and hard to sleep. I've been stretching like an MFer, and it'll feel great. Then I go to bed and wake up in the morning, and I'm limping all over again. Again, sucks getting old. And he writes this. I'm running a marathon with Jeff at Strider's in Maine in 2.5 weeks. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing that for? He says, I just have to get to the finish line and complete the state at this point. I'm not sure what he means by that. Is he one of these people who's trying to run a marathon in every state? Maybe, I don't know. I said, oh, are you rolling it out? Well, and I said, if you need to back out, that's totally fine. Probably shouldn't be running a marathon, though, in Maine. I mean, that sounds terrible. It sounds like your health is compromised, man. I don't know. And then he writes, nope. I will be at the starting line for our race, and I will pay double if I lose. This is the motivation I have to keep stretching and realizing I'm overweight and need to do the little shit if I'm going to continue putting myself through these races. In Maine, I've never been. So, yeah, it's a stupid idea, but I'll get through it even if I have to stretch every mile. It won't be pretty. Jeff is going to crush it. He's lost a ton of weight and is running strong. I don't know, man. What the hell are you doing? Don't run that race. If you run 10 miles or 5 miles in the last 10 days, you're so not ready to put your body through a marathon. That's fucking bad news. Well, all right. I wanted to give you that information, not to like brag or anything like that or rub his face in it, but I want you to have the information when you decide to place your bets. Rom says Mike is making himself out to be a hero. I don't think so. Come on. But you know what? You are very cynical, Aram. As sweet as you are, I think you have a very cynical side to you. That's quite an accusation to make about my pal Mike Ball. Josh says if it's the Maine Marathon in Portland, the course is a beauty. I don't know. Maybe. So there you go. That's the update. So then I was like, well, wait a minute. Maybe I do have a shot. And then I went out and got stranded. So I was like, oh, this is embarrassing. I'm like, there's like a spring in my step for 3 miles in the last half mile. I'm like, oh, God. I better call my wife and make her come get me. It's embarrassing. Okay. Again, Dear Meathead comes up in 35 minutes. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Thank you if you're watching the show on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I appreciate that very much, but I got to send you on your way. The reason why I have you here on those platforms is so I can tell you how you can get the show uninterrupted live every day and how you can download the audio podcast as soon as this is over. If you want to download any of my audio podcasts, you can find them. Wherever you download shows, just search Eric Zane Show Podcast. There I am. Also, it's on my website. It's embedded right there. If you just want to do it that way, that's fine too. Doesn't matter. As long as you get it, whatever you want to do. So do whatever you want Wednesday. And then on Twitch is where you get the show live, uninterrupted. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Again, go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Give yourself a cute little username and then hit the follow button, and then you'll know when I go live. Download the app so you can check it out on your phone, and off you go. There's an option for you in addition to following, which I appreciate it if you follow me. That helps me. It also helps me very much if you subscribe. And you can do that free with your Amazon Prime account. Just search there, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. You'll find it. If you get lost, whatever, reach out to me. I'll guide you through it. But that's how you do that. And if you subscribe at twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live with your Amazon Prime account, then during the course of the show, it won't be interrupted by video ads. So just another way you can support the show. Follow it and subscribe to it on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Slowly but surely working our way towards partner status on Twitch, which is a goal. I am an affiliate. You get that by getting a certain number of people following you. And then if you get a certain number of people that on average view your show for 1 month, and for me, for everybody actually, it's 75 viewers a day in a row for 1 full month, then you are a partner. That takes time to build, though, and I do that by having you subscribe or follow and subscribe at twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Otherwise, for you folks on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I'm going to send you off. Enjoy your day. Thank you for your time today, though.